Hi there. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at animation and also particle collision using grass. To start off, we'll first create a rectangular box and also a sphere. I'm just going to make sure that the sphere is on top of the surface because these are the two objects we'll be animating, and if it's on top, it will be a bit easier to show the effects. So that is not perfect, but it's good enough for our purposes. Once you're happy with this, we'll begin animation. The key button for animation is on the bottom right corner, called Auto Key. Once you press this, the workspace will have a red border and you'll know that you're in the animation mode. How this works is, first of all, you select the object you want to move. You set the timestamp. We'll set it at 1. We'll move it again in the middle, and then we'll move this to 10. And what it does is that these red spots basically tell you the positioning of the circle based on our movements. We'll move it again to the end. We move another 10 frames forward. As you see, the previous position was saved at 10 frames. And this is saved at 20 frames. We move it back again. Another one is saved. There's 30. Back to the beginning and move to 40. And it's saving our frames every 10 frames. And I'll just keep going on with that till the end. But this is basically a very simple way of achieving a basic animation in 3ds Max. Oops, it's a bit too far. That's alright. Back. And there we have it. Once it's completed, hit Auto Key again to complete your animation. Now you'll notice that whenever you slide the bar, the ball will move to wherever you set in the animation. So that's at the beginning. Now we'll begin loading up Tyflow. So for Tyflow, it's the same as before. You go to Standard Primitives, click on the Tyflow button, and you press in the workspace. Unlike previously, we don't actually need a Tyflow particle icon, as everything will be generated using just this Tyflow object. So we'll need to go into the object editor, create a birth, use a position object, and also a shape. For the birth, we're going to have to change our start and end to 0 and our total number to 2000 for now, since we're generating grass, we need it to be really dense on top of this surface. And then we'll go to position object faces. The location is this face here, so we need to change it to selected faces. And to select our face, we need to go to the modifier list after clicking on the box and use a edit poly. So edit poly is there, and in selection use polygon and select the face. And also make sure you pick your object in position object as well. So in this case we'll have to pick here. And as you can see, the particles are where the grass will be generated on. So next we will go to shape, select 3D, in the drop down menu go to grass, long grass, and in display we will change from small dots to geometry. And as you can see, we've got our grass appearing on top of the surface. However, it doesn't seem very dense at the moment, so we might actually have to change this to 20,000. And that is still not quite there, so we might change it again to maybe even 200,000, and that's looking pretty good. And maybe even change the scale, make it a bit bigger, so 150. Still a bit short, this grass, so maybe even 300. That should do the trick. And since it's generating so many little blades of grass, it might lag the system a bit. So once we're finished with this, we need to, so at the moment, so what to mention, we just test out this animation. As you can see, the ball is phasing through all the blades and there's no interaction with the blades yet. To fix that, we need to first of all create a wobble. What this does is it basically allows the grass to sway once our ball runs through it. Obviously, there's no collision yet, so you can't actually see it. So to add a collision, we will go add a collision. It'll be a separate event, and we join that up with our wobble. As I said, it's a bit laggy. And in under colliders, we pick and we choose our ball. Yep, and once that is done, in display, we change that to geometry as well. Display, yep. And then now in wobble, we can also set the decay to 1. And as you can see, once it responds, we can see that, we can see that the grass is being knocked over and distorted by our little ball over here. And we can probably turn off that, and you can see the ball interacting with our grass blades. For this simulation, it doesn't have to be grass, but this was just a quick initial demonstration of particle collisions in Tyflow. And that is the end of the tutorial. I hope you learned something and you've enjoyed it. Thank you.